Hello and welcome back to another video. I hope you're all doing well. We here in southern New Jersey are still snowed in. So I am working down here in my basement space, getting a head start on gardening, and it is time to get the winter jugs sown. Now, what I've done is I've gotten quite a few started already, but I wanted to take you through this process from beginning to end. And if you look back a couple of videos ago, about a month ago, I posted a video of all of the supplies that you need to get started. So you can check that out. That'll help you with different things that you need to gather together. So this is really the early part of getting this started because it's really, really, really cold outside. And this week it's going to be in the single digits. So what I'm doing is I'm getting my jugs started, but they're going to sit in the garage probably for about a week and a half. And then hopefully when the snow is all melted and the weather has gone up a little bit, I'm looking for at least mid-20s outside to put these jugs out. But they will be fine in this cold weather if you've already started already, because the seeds will stay dormant until the weather warms up and then they'll germinate at the right time. So let's get started. I have saved these juice containers because my son, he drinks so much of this juice. This is apple juice. And so I've been able to save quite a few of these. But you can use any kind of plastic jug to create like a little greenhouse. And the first thing you're going to do is take off the label. And luckily these are really easy to do, getting these labels off. They put a little bit of glue on one end of them, so you just rip them off. Easy peasy. Now the next thing we're going to do is put holes in the bottom, and I'm going to make some noise because I use a Dremel to drill holes in the bottom for drainage. But if you don't have a Dremel, you can use either a regular drill or you can heat up a fork and then use it to puncture holes in the bottom. So I'm going to do that now, so bear with me. Okay, it's as simple as that. You just want a couple of holes, and I like to use a nice small drill bit because I don't want to lose my soil out the bottom of this container. I just want it to, you know, drain gently. And then the next thing you're going to do is grab a very sharp utility knife, preferably with a new blade, because getting through some of these plastics are, I've noticed some plastic is tougher than others to get through. And I usually leave a little bit where I don't cut through so that, you'll see where the lid flaps open and it stays connected. So I go about a little less than halfway around and go almost all the way around, but not completely taking the lid off. So I'll just leave about an inch on the back so that I can open it like this and the lid stays attached. And it just makes life easier when I'm sealing it back up again. So now the next thing is I got to figure out what seeds I'm going to put in there because I'm going to make a label. So what we're doing right now is, let's see, what should we do? We're going to do red burgundy onions. And I've already made a tag for the inside, but I'm going to write on the outside what I'm putting in here. And then I'm going to take some clear tape and cover over what I've written because sometimes the weather will take the writing off. And then I also write around the top on all the sides. I'm just going to write onions. Now my house is a little bit louder than usual because everybody's home. My husband's home from work. My kids are home from school, and then we just got notice that tomorrow school is closed as well. So we got a full house here. All right, now what's next? Now that we've done that and we marked what we're doing, we're going to fill it with soil. And I've already got my soil prepared, and this is a mix that I make myself. Now, in another video, I showed you I've got soil down there. I've got soil everywhere, actually. But I have different soil that I use to start the seeds inside. But this is outside soil, so I make a little bit of a different mix. I use, this is a coconut coir brick, and I bring this back to life with some water. And this is a peat brick, and this helps with moisture control, and it's a good medium for soil. And then to that, I also add vermiculite. I add perlite, and then I also add some Miracle Grow potting mix. But really, any old thing will work. If all you have is potting mix, that's fine. That'll work. I just have learned over the years to do different things, but if you research online, you'll see there's so many different varieties and ways and soils that you can use. Now, in addition to the soil mix that I made, I also have kelp meal, which is in here, kelp meal. And this is added nutrients for the soil, because these are going to sit in here for a couple of months. And I want to make sure that the soil has enough nutrients in it. Plus, I like to add back to the soil some things that our bodies actually need. And then another thing that I'm going to add is worm castings. I'm going to put a little bit of that in there. And the worm castings, right here, we got our worm castings. That's some more nutrients for the soil. And then I got a little, what is this? I forget what these are called. But I'm just going to use this to mix this around. And I'm going to add a little bit more. And you want to fill it up. And you can see how I didn't go to the halfway point. I went a little bit closer to the bottom, because we don't need that much soil in here. They're not going to, once they germinate, they're not going to stay in here very long. And I do reuse my soil. So all this soil, all this really good soil, will not go to waste. All right, so you want to fill it up almost to the top, pat it down a little bit, and then get your little tag of what it is that you're putting in here. We got red burgundy onion. And then I'm going to just grab a couple of seeds. And all these seeds look pretty good. These are actually seeds I think I saved myself. So I'm just going to sprinkle a few around. I don't want too many. And put the rest back. All right, now we're going to cover them with a little bit more soil. Just a little bit. Just a little, because they don't need to be real deep. A little bit more soil, and then I'm going to cover them again with some worm castings, just for some extra nutrients. And then I'm going to make it nice and wet. There we go. And then the final step will be to seal it up. So you're going to need duct tape, because this is waterproof. And put a little seal on there, close it up, and there you go. It's as easy as that. This is all done. And so this is going to go, initially it's going to go in the garage, but when it goes outside, it will, you don't put the lid on, you keep it open, because the rain, the snow will all get inside, and it'll keep it moist enough. And then when the temperature is right, when the time is right, this will germinate. All right, so it's as easy as that. I hope this inspires you to get started with your winter jug sowing project, and let me know in the comments below if you found this video to be helpful, and what are you starting? And also, don't forget, I do have a free seed giveaway. The seeds that I am giving away are seeds that you can get started early. So do some research. There's so many different ones. Let me just show you before I sign off. Here's what I've already gotten started. And I've got mustard, collards, spinach, I got some more onions here. I've got kale and I've got peas. And these are all vegetables that you can get started early while you're snowed in and staying warm. All right, so stay healthy, stay warm, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.